Connecting with people, she will always greet people and taught me to greet each and everybody. You have to do where you're learning. Don't run after money, run after knowledge. So good deeds is you can help someone, whatever you have. Don't expect him to help you, but somebody will be sent to help you by God.
Roomesh, welcome.
Thank you, Joan.
It's a pleasure to have you. We were just discussing before the podcast about the amazing memories we had from last year, IFA's conference in Cape Town. All things tax related. I think you have to be made of a particular type of person to like tax. I don't think
I totally agree with you.
I don't think it's everyone's cup of tea. So perhaps my first question to you is, how did you end up in the world of tax?
That's a very interesting question.
Okay.
Because when I started my career, I joined a company which is in construction industry. Mm-hmm. This company, I was appointed as wages clerk. So PAYE was introduced in Mauritius in 1993.
Okay.
And at that point in time, I was requested to go and understand the PAYE system and to implement it for wages of employees of the company.
Okay.
So I fixed an appointment with at this particular time, it was income tax department. I went there to understand how PAYE works. So I met with someone, which I would like to mention.
Okay.
It's Mr. Konaidas. He was the one receiving people. Many Mauritians will know about him. He was the one explaining PAYE to me. How it works, how to do the computation, how to implement PAYE. So he was the first contact person which I met at the income tax department.
Okay.
So he has inspired me to do a career in taxation, which by now I call him the guru because he's the one who inspired me. Now he has retired, so I always call him guru. So he inspired me and motivated me to do a career in taxation.
Because I presume at that time, there was some tax in Mauritius, but the laws weren't like they are now. What was it about him? Or what was it about tax that inspired you?
It was about him. He was very motivated because it was a new legislation. He could understand the mechanism of PAYE, and the way he explains and motivates you was very different compared to others.
Right. Okay.
So whenever you ask him a question, if he doesn't know, he will get the answers and get it to you. He will call you and give you information because at that particular time, the communication itself was, we didn't have email, it was by phone, the old type of phone, maybe you will recall.
Yes.
So that was the day.
There
so
were
you
no
have,
mobile
there's no mobile phone.
Yeah.
So you have to travel to go at the income tax department and meet him. So he was my first contact person in the income tax department at that point in time.
And would you say, because I've seen you with your juniors and you come across as someone who's a very good mentor, someone who's a good nurturer, would you say that this is also your style of management or leadership? Do you try to impart knowledge in a way that would make them love tax?
This is what I have learned. So I'm a bit, my leadership, it's more about empathy. So I like to know the deeper of the people with whom I work.
Right.
So I try to get them motivated, I do a SWOT analysis in terms of the individual itself. So what is his weakness, what is his strengths, and try to motivate that in that area where they're interested. So I try to create the passion in the people I mentor. But I've been lucky enough to get people who are very interested in tax.
Yes.
And they have been able to instigate that passion in them. So they have been able to follow my training, my coaching, and my direction. I proudly say I have coached so many of them till now.
Yes, and you can see, I can think of two in particular, and I've seen that they followed your steps and they've done the famous LLM, King's College. And so would you also say, because you did an LLM later in life, as I think should be the way, I don't think it makes sense. This is my personal opinion. I don't think one should do the LLM as soon as you finish your university, because I think you need some life experience before you do a master's. This is my personal opinion. So would you say that your interest in learning has carried on throughout your career?
Indeed, my interest in learning, it's basically because I come from a very poor background. So there was no alternative to progress in career. It's only via learning. So I've started my ACCA. I did advanced diploma in international taxation. I did an MBA with the University of Mauritius, then pursued to LLM. I already had the opportunity to do a PhD in taxation.
Really?
But unfortunately, my wife said to me, you have to get the kids steady. You're old enough. Don't go further studies.
Right. Okay.
So,
would you have done it otherwise?
Yeah. Otherwise, I would pursue my PhD. But I'm still thinking. I didn't drop the idea.
Sure.
Maybe later, before retiring.
Yes,
so that's something
why not?
which
Or after.
Maybe that's something I will ponder on.
Okay. And what is it about, let me ask it in a different way. What qualities do you think one requires in order to excel in taxation?
First, for me, the first is the person needs to be, let's say, reading a lot, updating, understanding the language is key, and then how to interpret. So for me, it's not only an accountant, it's more a role of an accountant, it's more a role of a lawyer, because when you look at taxation, it's based on law. So how to interpret the law, that's key in taxation. So it comes, I didn't do an LLM, but at a later stage, I found out that it's key. I'm an accountant, started my career as an accountant. But I think to be a professional in taxation, you need to have an element of law. That's one. Second, it's depend on your passion. If you're passionate, you will go and read, get more information. You need to be on top to advise your client. You need the first to understand things so that you can advise your client. And if you don't do that, you shouldn't be in taxation. For me, it's a lifelong, continuous learning process. There's no way about it.
It's interesting that you mentioned client, because that's something I've noticed with you. We've been, I think, in 2 conferences together, one in Mombasa, long time, pre-COVID, I would call it like that, and then once last year in Cape Town. And you have this ability you're very extroverted, but also you have this ability to attract people around you, because you're very easy to talk to. And sometimes I think you can have all the knowledge in the world, but you don't manage to connect with the client. So do you think, how important is nurturing client relationships for you?
That's key. Because client, if you don't nurture them, you don't build a relationship, they can at any point in time leave you and go to another tax advisor. So nurturing and building this relationship comes with how you greet the client, how you talk to the client, how you appreciate his ideas, how you can listen to the client, and how you can advise him. So for me, connecting with people comes from my family background. So my mother was someone who was well known in the village I live. So I've been with her since my young age. So how
Which
to connect?
village was
It's
that?
Depine.
Okay.
We live in the Northern Ireland. So from there, I know most of the people in the village via my mother at that particular time. Because connecting with people, she will always greet people and taught me to greet each and everybody.
Really?
Yeah, so whenever we meet people, we were not allowed even to call people by the name. Either it's an uncle or an auntie, grandfather, grandmother. So she taught me never to call someone with his name or her name.
As a gesture of respect.
Gesture of respect. That's the first thing. So she forced me to say, in Mauritian language, whether it's a Hindu, you say namaste. For a Muslim, you say salamu alaikum. So we greet each and everybody when we walk in the village. So that's come from her. So then while you greet someone, then the dialogue starts. How are you? How is your family? So there's a typical question so by that, I've started to nurture the relationship. So it's come from start of my career, so my childhood, maybe my family background. And from that, I've been building on that at each step of my career.
And I think those values then, those childhood values then has built the professional.
I am, correct.
Today.
Yeah.
And you can see that in your juniors as well. Now let's come to Mauritius and the tax framework in Mauritius. We've gone through a lot of changes, post BEPS, etc. What would you say right now? What would you say is the trickiest challenge that we face as a jurisdiction as regards tax reforms?
The trickiest challenge we are getting currently with regards to tax reform, there are certain new reforms which has been announced in this Finance Act, which are still certain grey areas, not clear, but I do understand that the revenue and the government are working into issuing new guidelines, how to interpret certain elements. There are certain grey areas, but I think before coming to that, this should have been done before in consultation with us, with tax expert, before implementing those, rather than putting it before we are getting to implement some things where we are also, there are certain grey areas. For example, I'll give you the QDMTT that's being introduced. You've got the partial exemption, so there has been a change in the law, especially after the famous case of Alteo, which I think you worked on. So there are certain changes which may impact, we don't know what will be the end result, which may impact the industry. But I do understand also that the government is in need of finance. So there needs to be a balance. To get to that balance, it's difficult, but we as tax advisors, we try to get more. But we do understand the element of government raising more revenue. But in terms of challenges, there are lots of challenges in this Finance Act. You've got transfer pricing, which is not clear. It's only documentation required. But whether we are going to have a proper transfer pricing legislation, whether this will be coming up, this needs to be worked out. We've got also issues on trusts, which I think this will be coming, whether it's resident or non-resident, how to treat residency or non-resident. We've got the famous digital services tax, which is being introduced, the VAT. So that's some tricky elements, but there are also some elements, mainly taxation of dividends, which I think it's mainly for raising government revenue, and it's for 3 years, and hope in the 4th year the government will remove it.
On the eve of the next elections.
The most interesting part where we were worried is for taxation of foreigners selling their property. So that's a good measure. Government withdrawn it from the bill to there. That's how been withdrawn. And I've also noticed the fringe benefit on cars. So this was announced in the bill. It's not there in the Finance Act, but it's not clear whether MRA will come out with a regulation on that. We are not aware what. So this is something. But overall, when you look at the Finance Act itself, it's the government policies to raise revenue. That's the main behind the scene. But they are doing their best, I don't say, because there are other alternatives as well. But for me, the most challenging will be the digital services tax. Because what will happen, all the costs...
Even in terms of implementation?
Yeah, implementation. All the costs, like a small accounting firm, we take services foreign, so our costs will increase by 15%. Of course. And we can't claim it as input tax.
You can't recoup it,
So that's,
And B2B is meant to be broadly neutral.
So that's a real challenge. And when you look at the laws, they said if you're applying reverse charge, then the digital services tax won't apply. Okay, when you go that reverse charge, you can claim input VAT, but they change the input VAT legislation in section 21. But at the end of the day, when you read it again, it's a bit confusing, but it's clear. Even reverse charge, you can't claim input VAT. And also, so at the end of the day, you can't
It's an additional cost for you.
Additional cost for the company.
So do you think that our financial, I mean, you spoke about the QDMTT, you spoke about the partial exemption shrinking every year. We have done some litigation together for our clients in the global business sector. So would you say that our financial services sector is in peril?
I won't say it is in peril because this word is a bit...
I know it's strong.
It's very, very tough. No, but I think there are certain areas where we can improve. I would like to say there is continuous improvement. But where I personally wanted the government to come with a virtual asset. This is something where we need some tax incentive, digital currency. So this is an area which is taking globally more people are more interesting. This is an area where if government could have given some incentive for people in terms of tax measures, maybe taxing those companies at 3% instead of 15%, creating the right platform for people to come and set up all their, because this is IT driven, all the hardware, the server in Mauritius. This is some area where we could have done much better. So there's still room for improvement. The other facts would be, now we are going about carbon. What about carbon credits?
Yes.
What will happen to that taxation?
Yes.
So these are new areas which are coming in where we need to be ESG compliant, But these are things that we need to give incentive for companies to come, because I've seen companies having holding and subsidiary in African countries and dealing in carbon credits.
Right.
But how is it treated in Mauritius? Is it a financial instrument? Is it a product? Is it a service? So that's very
question. Is it a security?
Is it a security? So that's so many issues arising on carbon credits. So there are so many gray areas. I think some improvement needs to be done, and we can attract more people to do these types of business in Mauritius.
Yeah, and I think it's key, the consultation aspect is key. In certain instances now, I see that there's a genuine volonté to try to engage the industry, but it shouldn't be done as an afterthought. It should be done, it should be embedded in the process where, okay, for example, I'm comparing it with the UK, the finance bill has come out, you give a meaningful period of time for people to consult on the finance bill, and not just 3 days before it's read in Parliament for the first time. And similarly for transfer pricing regulations and all of that, I think, because at the end of the day, the government is the legislator, then you've got the administrator being the MRA, but the practitioners are the ones who are aware of the day-to-day requirements of the clients.
Business,
of the business. So let's keep fingers crossed that there'll be consultation. I also wanted to talk about a very exciting event that's happening in a few weeks, which is the Mauritius IFA conference. You're president of the
Yes, I'm the chairperson IFA as from 1st of April. So I have 1 year mandate. For this year, we are doing our conference. It's 16th Asia Africa IFA conference.
16th already?
Yeah,
wow.
16th.
Okay.
And we have scheduled it on 25th of September at Le Méridien. We have Jonathan Swartz, which is one of your guru and mine as well. So unfortunately, he can't make it. He will be talking about transfer pricing. You've got Melissa De Jong from OECD talking about QDMTT. And we've got panelists like Faisal, even the moderator is our Solicitor General, Rajesh Ramrol. So we have managed to get the best speaker we could for this conference. So I take the opportunity to invite people to join us.
So there's still time.
There's still time to register.
Okay.
You can visit our website, IFA Mauritius. You can register there for the conference. And we are in the process of getting MQA approval. So those who are registering as corporate, you will get your refund by HRDC.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What do you hope to, what's the biggest takeaway that you hope people will get from the conference, from attending the conference? Why should they attend?
First, they should attend because they need to comply with certain regulation, to understand the process, the system, and also to understand what's happening globally. Because there's, with Donald Trump in America, there's so many big reforms are coming in. So they could understand that international tax keep changing. It's a dynamic world.
And it has an impact on Mauritius.
And it has an impact on Mauritius. So that's key for them to know, to keep having more knowledge to understand how things are changing.
Yeah, and I hope at least 2 people will attend from here. So I really encourage people to attend. Because we were talking about the young generation and career and choices of career, etc. As you know, a lot of them left a few years ago to go to Luxembourg. I think there's less going now, but there's still that sense of, I would say, unease among the younger population that, work is too hard, or I'm not getting what I want, or our society is not meritocratic. What advice would you have for a young person now just finishing their ACCA or just starting a career in taxation? What advice would you have for them as regards why they should persevere? I think your story is a very telling one, because as you explained, you came from a very humble background. No one gave you something on a silver plate.
Yes. And
you are where you are now. So what advice would you have for them?
But for me, it's first, you need to live your passion, what you're passionate about. Second is there's an age where you can learn more. So you need to choose the right person with whom you're working, where you can learn more. So I'm a great fans of Jack Ma. Jack Ma, if
Yes.
you listen to him, he said between up to 30, it's a learning curve. You have to do where you're learning. Don't run after money, run after knowledge and getting the right guru in terms of teaching you the right skills. But then after 30, you choose and make more money up to the age of 40. And then he said after 50, you start retiring. So that's his plan. Yes. So my advice to young generation is don't go after money, get more knowledge, learn the ABC of taxation, even accounting, wherever you want. And first, very important is what you're passionate about. Go according to your passion. I don't want you to wake up in the morning and say, tax, such a headache, I don't want to do taxation. No, do what you want, but do it as a professional, do it correctly. So there is a learning curve, like I mentioned. So you have to get the correct, let's say, guru or supervisor or teacher to teach you the correct way to learn things.
Do you think in 10, 20 years' time our jobs will still exist with AI?
I do think yes, because AI have some limitations. Because when you look at certain answers, you will see it's typically the same. Yeah, it's the same. You could understand that it's from AI because there's lots of thinking on our process, because AI will give you, for me, AI is more, standard procedures where they can help you. But AI is a tool that will help you.
Of course.
It will help you, especially for low skill jobs, typing, drafting, it will help you in that area. But the thinking process will continue with human being. So AI will facilitate the jobs of human beings, but it won't take the jobs of a tax advisor. But maybe if you look at tax compliance, maybe yes. AI will ease the process.
To do tax returns.
Tax returns and so on. But when you look at tax advisory, maybe AI will embellish your language when you're writing, but the technical bits will come from you. For me, we have to upskill ourselves to use AI to do the low skill job.
Yeah, as a tool.
As a tool,
yeah,
correct.
Not as a strategy, as I always say. If you hadn't been a tax advisor, what would you have been?
Very
I'm sure you thought about it.
No, I already thought about it. I always wanted to be a doctor.
Really?
Yes. When I decided to choose my subjects at A-level, I asked my mother whether I can choose science. She said, I don't have money to finance if you want to be a doctor.
Aww.
So I went for accounting. So but still I'm very passionate. You can ask anyone in my organization. If they need a doctor, they will come and see to me, whom do you recommend?
So you know all the specialists. If you have a heart problem, go to this person.
Yeah. So all of them, I can direct them. So I do, if you got this symptom, you got headache, check your blood pressure. Maybe your pressure is upstairs. If you got this headache, you do that. So this is my passion. But unfortunately, I choose another one. I swap because of my conditions. Yeah. But medicine is my favorite passion.
How come? Just curiosity, or what is it about the field?
Just curiosity. When you
go,
at that particular time, doctor was, I'm talking about the 90s. Doctor was the best profession in Mauritius. Queue of people sitting, so he queues you, checks what are you getting, your temperature. So that's curiosity.
Oh, that's a lovely story. I didn't know that about you. Well, who knows? Maybe after you retire, that PhD we can.
But I wanted at least one of my son to do.
I see.
Doctor,
and have they?
No, they said no, they won't do.
What's your eldest son studying?
One is doing accounting. The other is more interested in artificial intelligence.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
we'll see whether they pursue it.
Future. Yeah, that is the future.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I have one last question for you. I always like to ask a kind of left field question out there. Do you have any regrets?
I should say no. Whatever I did during 50 years, I'm already 50. So I've been enjoying whatever I do.
And you can one can tell that
I always enjoy wherever you put me in any situation, I will manage to get out of it. That's because I believe in God. So I've got that's belief. And second, and any other way, if you do a good deeds, God will help you in any other way. That's my belief.
Yeah.
So good deeds is you can help someone, whatever you have. Don't expect him to help you, but somebody will be sent to help you by God.
And
So that's my belief.
You can sleep peacefully at
Yes.
night as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Roomesh.
Joanne, for giving me
you.
this opportunity.
And to everyone who's listening, you've got a few weeks to register.
To register for
25th
IFA,
of September.
25th. Visit our website to register.
Thank you.
IFA Mauritius. Thank you.
Thank you.